My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And I'm quite an excited Rabbi from another planet. I'm quite a happy, exuberant Rabbi from another planet. I mean, it is true. My country is at war and the world is imploding. That's actually happening. Yeah, that's true. But I'm still quite in good spirits. Why? I've been listening to Big Finish. Now, normally, of late, when I've been listening to Big Finish, I go, oh, that wasn't as good as I hoped. That wasn't, the great thing that I wanted it to be. This time it was. This time, I'm happy with my purchase. I'm happy with the release. I'm talking about, of course, the Ninth Doctor Adventures, the first box that they put out, Ravagers. It was not what I was expecting. It's one big continuous story. It's in 3 episodes, as it's Doctor Who, but it's one like little mini series, and it's darn interesting. It's a recommend. Listen, it's going to be a recommend. There's a lot more good about it than bad. There's really not that much bad about it. Fine. Before we get into the review, though, can I ask you guys, could you hit the like button? That'd be really fantastic. And again, even if you really dislike me or the review, or both, really, just hit the like button. I don't mind if you lie to YouTube. It doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. In fact, yeah, I'm totally okay with it. Like, share, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. We just broke 3,000 subscribers. Keep me above 3,000 subscribers. Let's go to 4. Hey, you see, this is the trap of YouTubing. You know, you're never ever satisfied. So yeah, they say in Judaism, who is a wealthy person? The person who is satisfied with a lot. Yes, I'm not that wealthy. I want more. So hit the subscribe button. Great. If you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube are doing a little bit of shenanigans. They do unsubscribe people quite liberally. So like, share, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed. Comment, let me know what you think. I got a ton of comments I need to reply to. I was sick yesterday and I just couldn't get any comments and I couldn't get my mind together. Like, share, subscribe, you want to be super nice? Go check out my Indiegogo. Freaking awesome. And I keep saying I'm going to wrap this up. I nearly finished the artwork I need to do is wrap it up yesterday. But as I said, I was sick. So these are 2 awesome graphic novels. We've got biblical Bible stories, the atheist creatures of the Rashless and Rogues. It's a 220-page tome, 180 pages of story. It kind of ties together Tower of Babel, the Flood, Book of Jonah, the Raven from the Ark, and King Nimrod. All these little disparate biblical things all tied together in one seamless narrative. It's very pointedly not preachy. At least I don't think it's preachy. Again, I really don't understand the idea of trying to convince people to live the way that you live. I don't really care. I mean, I like validation, but I don't really need it. So that's a biblical, and also we have the Imperium, a love letter to telefantasy of the 1960s. Basically, imagine I would say illegally changed versions of James Bond, Emma Peel, Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who, the Black Slab from 2001, and a monkey in a spacesuit in one reality bending tale. I hope to do more of these. Basically, I read League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I thought, Alan Moore is a very clever man, and he took all his all his personal heroes, which are like highbrow literary people. My heroes. Bit lower brow, so I did. That's basically the same starting point. So there you go. That's the Imperium. Great artwork, freaking awesome artwork by Dominic Rancho. He also did the extras. You get a bunch of these postcards for the male gaze. We have Keep the British End Up. We have Party Like It's 1999. We have Don't Even Think It's Citizen. We have No Hanky Panky in the TARDIS. Ooh, that's one of my favorites. We have I'm Sensing Strong Emotions, Captain, and we have the final one. Actually, it's not the final one. There's another one I'm adding. Hopefully early next week. The Force is Female. Everybody's going to get this poster. It's an A2 poster. If we hit $8,000, we're at like 500-600 away. I think we're going to hit $8,000. It's called A Bohemian in Time and Space. Again, 18 by 22 or 24. We have this one. It's an add-on unless we make more money. So it's called The Eyes Have It. We have Great Balls of Fire. And we have Forever Young, all for your delight and delectation. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. Something else I would recommend checking out is this, the Ravagers. The Ravagers, the Ninth Doctor Adventures Volume 1 by Nicholas Briggs. So this is good. This is a recommend. Okay, the first, I think, most important thing to talk about is there's no lecturing, right? There's no lecturing, there's no agenderizing, there's no platforming. This is just good Doctor. There's a good Doctor Who story told well. This is very different though from Doctor Who that we've seen with the Ninth Doctor upside down. Because the Ninth Doctor is so intrinsically wrapped around Russell T Davies. He is an expression of Russell T Davies's writing, and his Doctor Who was very unique. I don't think there's anybody done Doctor Who like it. It was much more based around families, based around personal relationships and families, and yeah, science fiction elements, through. But that was really, I think, Russell T Davies' essential love of humanity and families, and that bond, that connection between them, that defines his work. So this is not like that at all. It's also his one season was very, very scared of alienating viewers and wanted to make it. Open it up to make it non-threatening to new viewers, which it did. So it wasn't too overly science fiction-y. I mean, if you ever read, was it The Writer's Tale, I think? Great book. I'm not really a big fan of, what's his name who wrote it with him? I can't remember his name now. Whatever, Russell T Davies and some other guy who's a bit of a douchebag on Twitter too. Just about anybody who doesn't agree with him, from what I can understand. Benjamin Cook. Yeah, there you go. If you read that, the Captain Jack Harkness, who was apparently now been cancelled beyond cancelled. I feel bad for John Barrowman. Captain Jack Harkness was originally going to be called Captain Jax, Jax. But he said, no, it's too science fiction-y, and science fiction stuff will put people off. So that fifth season was a very naturalistic season, a very kind of kitchen sink drama season. So this isn't like that at all. This is a very different take on Doctor Who. This is Nick Briggs's creation. Nick Briggs, I think, is a solid writer. I like his work far more than, I think his hits are much more prevalent than his misses. This one is, I wouldn't say it's his best work, right? I wouldn't say it's his best work. I preferred it to Dark Eyes, however. Nick Briggs is best when he's being experimental, and I think he went a little bit too traditional for him. When he's being, like, have you heard his original thing called The Human Frontier? That's really good. I think that's probably one of the best things I heard him wrote. That he's written. Yeah, he's written in Prisoner. He was also very experimental with Creatures of Beauty. That was a Doctor Who story. Very good. This one, I feel he's reining in his experimentalness for this release, and he's going basically just doing good Doctor Who. So it's a very science fictiony, timey-wimey story. It's a time loop that you're caught in. Where does this take place in the Doctor's timeline? So I listened to the extras. They have an extras disc, which is very, very good. I was ready to record this video 5 minutes ago, and I said, no, I'm just going to wait and hear listen to the last 5 minutes of it. So from their perspective, this is taking place at an earlier part in the Ninth Doctor's life. Because again, from their perspective, they think the Ninth Doctor's season was his last days, and to be sure, it did end with his regeneration. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure I agree with that interpretation. And the great thing is it's open enough that you can have your own interpretation and slot it in where you want. Hey, look, you can put it before Rose if you want. See, my issue with that is Eccleston did I think one of the great things he did with the role is he had a real character arc. He started in a kind of very damaged place. Like he was very jangly, and it took till, I think, was it the Doctor dances till he kind of got comfortable with being the Doctor. So here he is kind of comfortable with being the Doctor. So I don't know, I would slot it in somewhere later in his timeline, because honestly I think when we first saw him in Rose, that he's just regenerated, or very recently regenerated. It seems to be the first time he's seen himself. It's like, oh, look at the ears. I can't remember the exact line, but I remember this is the first time that he saw himself. So I imagine that it takes part at different places in his timeline. I think most of Rose takes place right at the beginning of his timeline. And then when he asked Rose to join him, and she says, "No, I can't. I got to look after Mickey, right?" And the TARDIS vanishes, and it reappears a moment later. So there could have been a lot of time in between there, like a lot of time. And he comes back and says, "Oh, it also travels in time, right?" So I think there could be a lot of time. I think, but for me, I would slot this in somewhere later. Maybe he's traveling on his own at some point. And he does kind of stumble into a mystery. This could be halfway through the first season as well in terms of his portrayal of the character. He kind of stumbles into a mystery and then is sucked into it and solves it. Solves the whole thing. So that's the shape of it. So let's go through the stories, the individual stories. By the way, was it Eccleston is just a delight to hear in the role again. He's been doing a lot of publicity, right? He's been doing a lot of publicity to promote this box set, and is essentially just put people off buying it by saying, just lots of stupid stuff. They're like, "Oh, Doctor Who should have women in it and black people." It has women and black people in it, and always has done. I understand it's very popular to say that in 2021 that anybody who's not a white male is getting a raw deal in every way humanly possible, and always has done. I just don't think that's actually the case. So he's had a lot of stuff in the publicity, which has just been it's been like nails on a chalkboard. And I mean, I've gone from enjoying hearing him talk to going, "Oh, please, Chris, just don't say anything else, please, no, stop. Calling Doctor Who a boys' club. Okay, the reason Doctor Who is a boys' club because it's science fiction, and science fiction generally skews more masculine than feminine. I think Doctor Who is probably one of the most feminine of the masculine genres, like Star Trek, Star Wars. I think, there's a large percentage of the fan base, especially from 2005 onwards, that are women, right? There are women, but I think the demographics are most people, regardless of being male or female, have left in the last couple of years. They have found it reasonably preachy. One thing that was just I know it was just not a good idea in the making ofs in the documentaries at the end, the interviews. Nick Briggs is talking about the character of the Doctor and how he lives his life in a non-linear fashion. So I just talked to Chris Chibnall about it the other day. I'm like, really? Don't, no. I mean, it's like, it's like saying, "Oh, just talking to Harvey Weinstein." No, you want to keep that to yourself. You want to keep it. He's not. There's a lot of people listening who don't view him in the best light possible. It's interesting though, because actually, Chibnall's. I hear from people who've worked with him, he's the nicest person ever. But I heard other people who interacted with him that he's a total douchebag. So I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. Fine. So let's start going through the story. Episode 1, Sphere of Freedom. On the Sphere of Freedom, the Doctor is about to shut down an evil immensive games business empire. He's assisted by a valiant galley chef called Nova, and his plan spectacularly fails. And who exactly is Audrey? So there's a lot. So you don't know, but there's a lot of important information given in that synopsis. So Nova becomes his companion throughout this story, and she's good. She's a really good companion. She's in the mold of all great Doctor Who companions. Independent, smart. Got a backbone, a fun, exciting character who has their own life. She's a really good companion. I'm really kind of gutted they didn't do any form of photo shoot with him in costume, and because she's the Doctor's companion, she's a younger actress. I think she deserves the kudos I get. And again, I didn't notice any platforming or agenderizing through this. It was just telling a really good, interesting story. So the good, interesting story is involving these these creatures, the Ravagers, and these time editors going throughout. Now, Nick Briggs loves time editors. Have you ever heard his old audio-visual stuff, which is the fan-made audios he did when that preceded Big Finish? That was basically the audition for Big Finish. There's always time edits. He loves time. So there's time edits going on. They've got these monsters called the Ravagers, and then they got the villain in this story is Audrey, the evil businesswoman in control of everything. So what they do, which I find really clever, is they layer the character, and by the end of it, your perception of that character is totally altered, right? It's totally altered, totally changed. She might still be a villain by the end of it, but again, they have layers upon layers of character in there, which I just think speaks of very, very good writing. There's a little bit of social commentary talking about refugees and corporate malfeasance. But I think these are things that aren't politically based. I think these are, which sadly, like a lot of a lot of political what's the word I'm going to say, positions people take have been moralized to a great degree, and they and you come up with ridiculous conclusions that if you're not on board for complete open all borders, you're a racist or a bigot or but that's not what I think Briggs was saying here. I think Briggs was saying is we need to have compassion for people in need. I don't think anybody in the world would disagree with that, right? I think that's I think some people might, but no normal person would have any problem with it whatsoever. And again, I just think this is social conscience in your writing done well. Look, Nick Briggs is a big lefty socialist, right? And we are on different poles of the universe. Without look, but again, when you say things that are basically true, that being kind is a good thing, and not saying if you don't agree with me, you're an evil bigot. It's like that's not being very kind. So I think it's done very well. It's good, interesting drama. In they do address it a lot in the interviews at the end. So it's something they were clearly aware of and nervous about. You can tell they're a bit nervous about it. But it was done right. I have to tell you, it was done right. I didn't notice it. There's the thing. I didn't feel like I was being hit in the face constantly with somebody telling me they think I'm deplorable, right? I didn't feel that at all. And I feel that a lot from, again, Star Trek Discovery, Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. I do feel that a lot. I didn't feel that at all from here. It was just like a good, solid Doctor Who. Something really interesting about this, as I say, because it's not Russell T Davies, it's Nick Briggs' take on it. You get an entirely fresh look at Doctor Who. So it's kind of like when they did, who was it? Did Death Comes to Time? The Seventh Doctor did Death Comes to Time, and suddenly it was a very different take on the Seventh Doctor. It was recognizable. It was the same character, but it still had that very different feel. And I really wish that Capaldi stayed on and we had maybe not Chris Chibnall, it's a bit anybody else wrote for him for a couple of years to get that very different feel. So that's really what you get with this. So story 2, Cataclysm. Nova is dislocated in time. The time lasers are out of control. Meanwhile, the Doctor is about to face the end of the universe, or is that just the Battle of Waterloo? So you've got this really good plot thread where, again, in the interviews at the end, they talk about this was the starting point of Roman legionnaires turning up in London. It's 1950s London or 1960s London, but it's like Roman legionnaires turning out, and that whole bit is done very well. And again, Chris Eccleston's Doctor is just really a delight throughout. If you got into Doctor Who through the 2005 season, you're gonna adore this. You're gonna absolutely adore it because he's really back. He's really back, and it's just great to get a bit more of his Doctor. which I'm just happy about. Really, I'm really happy about it. The third part's called Food Fight. I don't know why it's called Food Fight. That's weird. I know why it's called Food Fight. The TARDIS is starting to get a little crowded. Audrey finds herself haunted by a ghostly doctor. So this ties it all up. It's worth listening to a second time because it's a bit confusing. Again, this is not made for the normie, whereas the 2005 season was entirely made for the normie. It was made for a general audience. This is made for a Doctor Who science fiction audience, and it very, very, very much tells a good wrap up, a good story. It's a good epic story, you know. I feel better for having listened to it. I like that it didn't have anything from the past. It was all new things. It felt right. It did feel right. And look, this is a strong recommend. If anything, my only criticism is it plays things a little bit safe, and I think Briggs is his best when he's experimenting. Again, Prisoner is a great example of that, or Human Frontier. Creatures of Beauty. If you've never heard that, it's like $1.99, $1.50. It's really it's completely non-linear. This Doctor tale with Sarah Sutton. I think is anybody else? I think it's just the Fifth Doctor and this. So there's less bold experimentation in this, but honestly, it's solid. I will give this. I would give it a solid 8 to 8.5. I think 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10. I think that's a fair, a fair rating. And I am looking forward to, the next box set. Next box set is going to be 3 individual stories. I was actually going to record this as 3 individual reviews, but it's just so tied together as one story. It's one story. The review gets one thing. Next box set is 3 individual stories. So I'm intrigued to see where they go next. It's great. I would say fantastic, absolutely fantastic, which is the I guess what everyone's going to be saying. It's going to be the tagline about this. You do get one really good fantastic in the in this. There's a trailer that he recorded, which I don't think he gave the best performance as well. When he says it's going to be fantastic, it's all very, very calm. There wasn't that energy about it, and it's riffing off that original 2005 trailer. Where it's like, yeah, you want to come with me? And he's running down the corridor with fire, and then you get a feeling like urgency with that. You don't get that feeling with this Big Finish trailer. But the box set is far superior to the trailer. I'm kind of excited to hear him with was it John Culture's Brigadier now. I always feel bad if I don't hear a Doctor with a Brigadier. So I'm really kind of excited for that. I'm kind of excited for his Sideman story. I'm excited to see where they go next. As I said, fantastic.